So you made reference to the White Lives Matter T-shirt, which you brought out at Paris Fashion Week.
Yeah.
Why did you do that, and what did it mean?
It's because they do. Just a black man stating the obvious.
Yeah.
So I've been doing some research, and I was looking into what are the cancers in the United States that get the least amount of funding. And I saw that the cancers who get the least amount of funding are lung cancer, colon cancer, liver and bile duct cancer, ovarian and pancreatic cancer. On the other hand, the ones that get the most funding, the one that gets the most by far is breast cancer, leukemia and lymphoma. Those are the three that get the most here in the United States. But for the purpose of this video, I decided to focus on the ones that get the least amount. And the one that caught my eye was bile duct cancer. I'd never heard of it. So I decided to do a little bit of research. Follow me. Follow me. We are going somewhere. Don't give up. We're going somewhere. Bile ducts are a series of very thin tubes that go from the liver to the small intestine. It allows a fluid called bile, and it takes it into the small intestine, and it helps to digest fats in food. But for the vast majority of bile duct cancers, they have no idea how they form. It's just genetic, it's DNA, it just happens without anybody having an explanation. So I thought, what if we decided to start funding this very little known cancer? What if we started doing fundraisers and having dinners and events to bring awareness and also to raise funds to help understand and increase the curability of this cancer? And what would happen if at one of these fundraisers, let's say we have this really nice dinner and people are dressed to the nines and everybody's there to bring awareness, to bring funding to help cure this disease. Maybe we have an entire section that is filled with people who are battling this deadly disease. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, two people crash the stage wearing shirts that say, "What about breast cancer?" I'm sorry? Did you get lost? This is a bile duct cancer fundraiser. Yeah, but what about breast cancer? Breast cancer matters. And to that we would say, well, breast cancer has the lion's share of cancer funding. But then to that, they would say, who cares about money? Breast cancer is important too. And to that we would say, well, thanks to funding and research, breast cancer is the #1 most survivable cancer in the United States. When found early, it has a 99 to 100% survival rate after 5 years. That's higher than all cancers across the board. On the other hand, bile duct cancer, the cancer we're trying to raise money for, has a survivability of between 8% and 25%. To which the stage crashers could probably say, well, the reason why breast cancer gets the most money and research is because it's the #1 diagnosed women's cancer. To which we would say, that is not true. The #1 cancer that women get diagnosed with in the United States is skin cancer, and skin cancer doesn't get half the funding of breast cancer. To which they'll probably say, well, I guess you just don't care about breast cancer, huh? You just don't care. To which we would say, of course we care about breast cancer. But we have observed that over the years, as your funding and your research has increased, so has your survivability. It is the most survivable cancer in this country. We just want to survive too. At which point Kanye would probably say, well, what about that time my wife took my kids from me, huh? Huh? You know what's the worst part of this? That the two people who crashed the stage wearing t-shirts that said, "What about breast cancer?" They both have bile duct cancer as well. Ain't that something? Wow. Wow. Listen. Kanye West and Candace Owens and anybody out there who pretends that they believe that the Black Lives Matter movement, not the organization, not the corrupt organization that needs to be shut down by the IRS. Most Black people feel this way. Not the organization, but the Black Lives Matter movement. Anybody who will tell you that the movement is unnecessary and that it's obsolete and that it's even racist, they're trolls. Candace is a troll. Kanye is a troll. I've talked about him. He's a cicada that just pops up every once in a while to just blabber and make noise. They're not worth arguing with. So this video, I didn't make this video for none of those idiots. I'm here talking to you because I think and I believe that you are a reasonable person who understands that the Black Lives Matter movement started from a tragedy and it has evolved into a movement that has spread all over the world to address the inequality that people of African ancestry, that we just want equality. So do all lives matter? Of course they do. Of course. Every life has value, every life matters, and it deserves respect and equal rights under the law. But BLM is a movement that is here to remind people that all means all, and that all includes Black people. And we deserve to be treated just like everybody else. We don't want special treatment. We just want fair treatment. What do we mean by fair? Does every person in America have equal rights under the Constitution? Isn't that already understood? I wish it were. I really do. If all lives matter, then why? Even though Black people in America, when they're stopped, are less likely to be found with drugs or weapons on them, they are more likely to be stopped than white people who are more likely to be found with weapons and drugs. Numbers don't lie, statistics don't lie, look it up. Even in the 21st century, a Black person without a criminal record is less likely to be hired for a job than a white person with a criminal record. When appraising a home, if the person doing the appraisal believes that the home is owned and occupied by Black people, that appraiser is likely to price the home at a lower price than if he or she believed that the house is occupied by a white person. This happens today, even if it's in a nice neighborhood. Doctors admitted in surveys, they admit that they believe that Black people have a higher pain tolerance, which leads to them ignoring our pleas for help when we're feeling pain, which leads to more preventable deaths in hospitals. And this is especially crushing and sad when it comes to Black women who are giving birth. Their pleas are sometimes ignored, which leads to a higher death rate for Black women when they're giving birth or when they have just given birth. All children matter? Little Black children are more likely to be expelled or suspended from school than their white counterparts for committing the same offense. And the same thing happens in the justice system, where Black defendants are given harsher and longer sentences after being convicted of the same crimes as people from other races who tend to get lesser sentences for the same crimes. And on and on and on it goes. We're just tired. That's what Black Lives Matter is all about. We're just tired. All we want is equal treatment under the law. We want everybody to know that we matter too. Are we asking for too much? Are we?